to just crash because of missing battery. However, let's just continue right away with that. There's a way to auto-populate that. As I said, I've written a short script for that. If you're interested in that, just leave a comment and tell me, then I'll make another video just explaining the different code here. However, this video will go long for anyways, so let's skip it here and maybe we'll do it later on. What we'll do, however, here is just put in 5 different CIDs here, which are right now not actually CIDs, but just some JSON, which no Siri, you leave me alone, fine. Which are just linking to nothing right here, but normally they would link to a corresponding JSON, which is containing the metadata of your NFTs. So yeah, but for now we just put in 5 different JSONs in here, just making some formatting so you see what I'm talking about. So we have these 5 different JSONs, which should be, this one should be an UID linking to a JSON and to any JSON. So yeah, so right now we are having a CID of CID array of 5 different linkages, links, pointers to the corresponding JSON, which is not of C. Okay, let's continue. We're loading a CID. This is just one added by me to just make sure we are using the right CIDs, because at some point, and if you're improving your collection, and we had some different trial runs where we had different CID arrays, so I just decided to lock them to make sure we are minting the right ones. This is requiring the array we just set up. And now we go to the actual minting. This minting is all located in this main function. We can go below here and see that the main function is directly triggered. So how would we go about starting this one? We just open up our terminal. And then I'm right now in the main folder, but I would say, hey, let's go to Testnet, cd Testnet, and I would just say node index, which I'm doing not, but I will do it later on. However, because we're calling directly this function, the main function, then it will run directly and starting to mint. Alright, so we're checking 2 things. First of all, we're checking if the operator ID and the operator key are null. Well, it's an OR actually. Why we're checking that? We need both for sure. It doesn't work, the minting doesn't work, and the minting will abort anyways if those environment variables are not there. However, we just put in a proxy error identifier to that to see if we have both variables, because we can't operate without them. And secondly, because we have different, as you can see, different wallets we are testing along with, we just added the block to see which operator ID we're using right now, with which we are using, so we could make sure directly in the console that we are using the right one, because we're constantly changing the file here. But if you don't have that, if you have a different process or just one main treasury wallet you want to have, then you can delete it easily. You don't need it here. Now, what do we do now? We just specify the NFT custom fee, the royalty fee. We set a numerator and a denominator, which is then evolving to being 5%. Short explanation why. If you have your typical division, you have, in this case, 5 divided by 100, so we end up by 0.05, which is 5%. This is the case. Then we set the fee collector account ID, so where the royalty fee is actually going. They're going to the treasury ID. Maybe you can put any number here. We from Guilty Partner Prison Gang decided to do 5%, because we say 2% are going to the team, 2% are going to the treasury, and 1% like treasury, because we are a CNFT, a charitable NFT project, which is helping prisoner mistreatment. So this is going to the treasury, which then funds different activities the gang is doing, /nonprofits are doing, lawyers and so on, helping mistreated prisoners, like standing up for the cause. We see a very valuable point there, but you could use anything there. And as you see, they go anyways to one ID and then are split later on. And lastly, because right now there are no marketplaces out yet, so you can set an fallback fee. The fallback fee is done if someone would like to send the NFT to anyone, and to make sure that there is maybe not a royalty fee paid out because the royalty fee wouldn't trigger. There's a fallback fee. So if there's no royalty fee, the fallback fee will trigger, and we decided to put 29H in there. But as I said here as well, you can put anything as you want. We then created the token, the actual token. How you can think about that is there's one main token which contains the main information, and then if you're maintaining a collection with serials, the serials are pinned below that token. So you have that 0.0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, and then point on at the serial. So you have a serial, you have one serial number, which is a token, like you have a parent token, and then you have your serial with other information below that. You will see in a second how this works out. You will set a token name, a token symbol. You set the token type to non-fungible unique. This is very important because right now there are a lot of different projects running around with fungible tokens, which isn't making any sense because you don't have an NFT then if you have a fungible token, because like NFT stands for non-fungible token. So it doesn't make any sense, a lot of fungible tokens. If it was you, would leave my hands off, but I'm not sure. Like, we are young, everyone knows we are young, or we are early, so maybe that's has its reasoning. Decimal's initial supply. Initial supply is not too important. We set it by 0, but later on the supply will be added by adding serials, so it will not stay at 0. And if you look at set marked supply, we're taking the length of our CID, which we just filled up with different imaginary CIDs. So this will be 5. And we set a treasury account to the supply type, which is finite. We don't want to have, we can't add tokens to that without having the supply key. And we're adding the NFT custom fees, which we just denoted above. The NFT custom fee is here. And we're setting the admin key and a supply key, which we talked about previously. And lastly, then we defreeze the client so we can sign it. This is a typical Hedera action. You typically freeze the client at first so you can sign it later on. This helps in making sure that nothing changes while you're signing the transaction. Yeah. Then we are signing the NFT create function. This one with our admin key. We are creating submit, execute on the client. This is, you don't need to know that, to be honest. However, you get a receipt in the end, and this makes sure that you have a signed token with the admin key on the client, to make it short. And then we get the token ID back and log the token ID, so we know, hey, we've minted an NFT successfully, first of all, and secondly, what's actually the token ID, so we can look it up in a trading class, for example. All right, we're creating a token info query. This is actually just for informational purposes. You will see in a sec that will be, as you can see, we are logging a table, and then we are looking at our custom fee schedule, or our custom fee we set onto it. But this is only, you can leave that out because it's just informational purposes. Where it gets interesting now is add mint new batch of NFTs, and with the token minter function. So what are we doing? We're having an array with the NFT GPG. And right now we're iterating through that and pushing our, does it look? Yeah. So we're setting an empty array and then we're pushing it into that. So what happens is we have a for loop. So for I equals 0 and I is below CID length, which in our case is 5, and then I plus plus. What are we doing? We're setting our array right now to our token minter function with the CID of I. So the first, for example, if I is 0, array start with a 0. So this will be the first, if you just check back for our collection array. So this will be the first CID, CID with corner brackets, not sure how to say in English, with brackets with 0. So this will be the first one, which will be printed on that NFT. If we head back now to index, well, you can see what will happen. This for function always calls for every loop. So in our case 5, because our CID length is 5 times this token minter function. Like in every loop, this token minter function will be called. This is sitting below here, and it's an async function, so this one will surely wait for the token minter function to finish. What happens now? We submit a new token mint transaction, set your token ID. The token ID is specified here, which we got from minting a token, the metadata, and now it's very important because now we're going to the CID to the URI, which is the CID in some point of sense, and are getting the JSON and are setting the metadata from the JSON on our NFT. And lastly, we're freezing with the client, which, as I said, is a typical Hedera action to finish things up. And then we sign up with the supply key and submit it back. This wouldn't be necessary if you don't have a supply key and don't have an admin key. You will leave that alone. And now we've minted by, like in the first loop, with I equals 0. We are calling token minter function once, and this is basically the token creation, and then we are logging our created NFT with the serial, and we have, so serial would be 1. All right. Yeah, this is actually how we mint NFTs, and the balance checker function can be left out here. No need for that. It was just some testing playground. But yeah, and that's the code how we can mint NFTs. And what we'll do right now is just we are already in our folder testnet, and now we go node index, and now everything should work fine. Let's see. As we've seen, we are logging our CIDs, which are actually not CIDs, but we just use them. We are logging our how's it called? The NFT custom fee, the table, are logging that. And as you can see, we created now an NFT. The token ID stays the same with the serial 1 to 5. Why is it 5? Because we only have 5 CIDs within our CID array function. All right, so this is how we mint NFTs. We minted now NFTs on the Hedera testnet, and you could put this into, for example, let's just do it maybe on sionNFT.com. Not Sion NFT Hedera. Maybe that's a spelling mistake. Yeah. And you could see if you go to the testnet, of course. Right, it doesn't make too much sense. Because right now we're not plugging into the wallet, never mind. Now we're going to, you can only put token ID, it's actually true. This is totally correct, we are on testnet. There we go. And now we have the different serials here. As you can see, GPT collection and the different information regarding that. All right. So this is the one possibility. So now the main question, how would we go about doing it on Mainnet? Actually, it's very, very similar. There's really not much to it. If you look at our Mainnet folder here, right here, you can see it's actually the same structure. We have an env, an index, and a restart mint function. Restart mint is if you, for example, mint 100 NFTs to stick with our previous example, but you want to mint 200 in the end. So what you can do is just mint more, and then you have to restart mint because then you're restarting with serial 101 to 200, for example. However, if we just go to our index.js, we can easily go here because we have our secret data in our .env. I won't show you this one because it's a private key, and if we would show it to you, you could steal our funds, which we don't want to have. But as you can see, there's actually one single difference, and this is client.forMainnet. We go back to our testnet, go up, and as you see, it's a client for testnet in this case. There's actually the one single difference, which is happening how we can iterate from minting for testnet and minting for the mainnet. However, what you should take care of is, of course, this is now data of the testnet. You need actual mainnet data to perform that. So what you do, you go to your exact wallet, to your hash-backed wallet to any wallet you're using, and would be copying this operator ID as well as this private key, same here as well, to this mainnet.env file, and then you will be good. All right, I think we're done for now. This is how you mint. If there are any questions, please feel free to ask me in our Discord, on the Guilty Panda Prison Gang Discord, first of all, or just comment in the video article wherever this will be published. And yeah, if this was fun, please feel free to join the gang and feel free to ask. I was very willing to help, and wish you a good day. See you soon. Bye-bye.